What's up, y'all? Welcome in. Today we're gonna do a Ask Me Anything. We're gonna break a record today. How many questions can we answer here on the show for you? All I need you to do is ask questions. To do that, all you need to do is type in the word question in all caps, followed by your question. And we're gonna try to burn through over 40 questions. I think 40 was the record last time. And I'm going to just keep track on how should I keep track of this? Let's keep track on. Let me get set up here. I was going to connect my phone, but I've been getting a lot of messages, so I don't want those to pop in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my area ready here so that we can actually tally them off with little tick marks. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So let's do it that way, and we'll see if I can get this set up here on the fly. Anyway, how are y'all doing today? Hope all is well. You know what? I just want to get right into it because I'm here to help as many people as possible. Yesterday, I rambled on a lot, and it's okay. It was Valentine's Day. I told a lot of stories about my wife and the family, and that was super fun. Very grateful that I had a chance to do that for you and to answer a few questions here and there, more personal questions and things like that. But today, you know, we're right in the middle of this. Plus, I have a webinar happening later today that I was really focused on last night, revamping for 2021. And it's a webinar to help people find their niche, which I'm really excited about. If you want to sign up for that, smartpassiveincome.com/webinars. If you want to sign up, it actually happens in 2 hours from now, smartpassiveincome.com/webinars. And that's why today is just a Q&A day. I didn't have time to go deep into a topic because I'm going deep into a topic later on the webinar. So welcome in. Thanks, everybody. We got CV, Peasant Uprising, Joseph, Elliott, Grandma Goody, Jeff, The Ref, Sarah, Mr. Camera Junkie, Bernard, Kathy, Dan Norton, Life with Marin. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks so much. Let's start the show. Here we go.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you. I've been trying to get this thing ready, but this is my camera that I have here where I can actually, I might be able to set this up. I think it's important to see gamification is important when it comes to goal setting for myself personally. And I love the idea of just trying to always outdo myself, always trying to improve and get better. So let's see if I can do this on the fly here. Having a little bit of crane trouble right now. But I'm just gonna keep this messy. We're gonna go right there. Let's turn the camera on. And again, I want to keep track for you how many questions we answer. We'll keep it fun. We'll keep it exciting. And we got man, when you stay up all night working on a webinar, you just lose a bunch of things. Hold up. All right. There we go. Whew, okay. Sweet. Let's see if this works. We got this up here. Okay, how do I get in the corner? No, I don't want that. I want it in the corner. Corner, 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 corner. How do I, what's going on here? What is happening? All right. You know what? I have no idea what's going on. Okay, let's answer some questions. I actually came out with a video earlier today on Clubhouse, actually. Thank you, John, for pointing that out. We made a little mistake. I'm human. My team is human. We put the wrong Clubhouse logo in the video. So we took that video down, then we put it back up without that logo on there. So that's how or why you probably got a couple notifications about that. So it's all good. It's all good. Thank you so much for that. So let's get right into this. And I'm just going to keep track for myself to see how many questions we got coming in. And I'll keep you posted as we go. So first question coming in from Martin. Let's see. Stud Labrador became a day today. 7 gorgeous puppies. How many should we keep? Wow. Congratulations, Martin. That's awesome. We have 1 puppy and he's a handful. So maybe you might want to keep 1 or 2 and then offer the rest to some of your friends or family. That's really cool. Congratulations to you on that. That's really fun. Saclane says, Pat, where to know about trending content for a blog? This is a great question. So one of the best things that you can do is try to determine, what are the popular topics out there so that when you write about them, they're actually hitting home. Of course, wow, today, both these markers are dry. What is going on here? You know what? I'm not going to let that affect the rest of my day because I got a counter up here on the screen for you. So we're at question number 2 now. Okay, so trending content. There's a number of different places to go and get trending content. You can obviously look at places like Google Trends. You can keep up with news-related websites that you have related to your niche. For example, if you're in the woodworking space, I would follow some woodworking websites, for example, and blogs and any sort of articles or even magazines about that. So you can see what people are writing about there, because if they're writing about it, they're obviously understanding that that's something that is worth reading, and they've probably put a lot of time and effort into that too. That's almost along the lines of newsjacking, seeing what's available and what's happening in the space right now, and then creating your own spin on it, creating your own sort of voice or angle with relation to that topic. That way you can kind of piggyback off of what a lot of people are talking about right now. I did something very similar in the video that I came out with today here on the channel about Clubhouse. Clubhouse is something that a lot of people have been talking about. So because I've been hearing about that, because I'm involved in this space, I wanted to create a video to create content about that too. I think conversations with your audience is going to go a very long way too as well. If you have the ability to connect with them, whether it's one-to-one on social media, maybe a phone call, or one-to-many in a group-like fashion within a Facebook group that you might have, or other membership or community, that can give you some insight in terms of what are people asking. And based on those questions, you can create content that could make it, make its way into the rankings and get spread out there for you. Cool. This is awesome, LOL. Yeah, kind of like the old overhead projectors. It was kind of behind the scenes. Yes. Are you going to have a blooper reel for day 365? I think that would be fun. We have definitely a lot of bloopers in here. I definitely want to go back and pinpoint at least, maybe it's not a blooper reel per se, but at least understanding in certain episodes, like when you came on in episode 200, Gamma Goody, just kind of resharing those moments. We have a lot of minutes to work with, 365 minutes to work with in total for the day 365 celebration, which happens on March 15th. So that's pretty crazy. I can't believe we're almost here. We're just, 2 weeks away, which is kind of interesting. Okay, we got fit over 50. Let's say that someone has a lot of work and a family commitments, and is jamming 24/7. Would you say that one video a week, maybe every Monday night, for example, is a winning strategy? Yeah, if you hit home with that video, it can be. This is something that in the Pokemon space that I'm doing, I'm not coming out with daily videos like most of the other people are, but I'm coming out with good videos that matter, that are different. And when you can do that, then people are going to be hungry and waiting for the next video, and you can build an amazing strategy like that. I mean, even let's think about big YouTubers like Mark Rober. Mark Rober, who came out with a video yesterday, he comes out with a video once a month. His last video before that was the Glitter Bomb video, right? From December, I think. And so Mark's videos are so well done. He tells such great stories that he only needs to come out once a month, and we're all waiting and we're hungry for the next one. So yeah, absolutely. I think, again, it's the content and the quality of it, not the quantity of the content, that matters most. Min says, Pat, good morning. This is actually the first time I'm watching the show live, but I've been a fan for over a year. Hey, you're seeing me fumble and bloop here in the beginning, which is kind of cool. I'm glad you're here. You were able to help my business blow up in 2020, and 2021 is on track to be my best year ever. Yo, congratulations, Min. I appreciate that. Great job. I'm also going to, the field goal machine. Yeah. I think the rover video came out yesterday because the, Prosperity? The Prosperity rover is, or Perseverance. It's a P word. It's landing on Mars after a 7-month trek to Mars, traveling 10 times faster than the speed of a bullet on its way. It's going to land on Thursday, which is pretty cool. I'm going to pull up some music in the background because it's always fun to have some music. Let's get Spotify up. Spotify is fun because it's just, you could share these playlists and such. So let's create some music. Let's see if it's coming out where it should be coming out. All right. So far, we're 5 questions in, which is good. All right, we should be hearing some music. There we go. Okay. All right. Question from Andrew. Here we go. From Elliot. Cool. because his name is not easy to say, or should he use his nickname? He wants to do a personal finance blog, something like Go Get Wealth with Easy. Yeah, Easy, I like that. It's easy to say. So yeah, the last name Zelinskas is something that, you gotta, obviously you could use the name and people will then learn it and want to know how to spell it correctly over time. But whatever you can do to make an audience more easily able to hang on to you and to understand what you have to offer, the better, right? So, Easy Finance with Easy, or it could be like Easy Money or Wealth Made Easy. And then Elliot could be just the name that you use. And you don't even have to ever even share your last name all the time. So yeah, I absolutely think that's a great idea. Use a nickname, Easy, that works for me. And I think that will make everybody's life easier, including yourself, right? If you were to have a domain name like Elliot Zelinskas, it would be hard for people to know even how to spell that, versus something like, Go Get Wealth Easy, or just Go Get Wealth. That would be much, much easier to understand, remember, etc. Thank you, Andrew, and thank you, Elliot. All right, Amar says, I have a website and a good social media following around the page. What is the best way to monetize the efforts that I put? AdSense is fine, but that does not pay well for my audience. So a website and a social media following, you should hopefully have a connection with your audience in some way where you can actually reach out and understand what it is their biggest pains and problems are. You'd be able to make more money by probably helping one or two people with something that they absolutely need help with. And that would help you make more money than you could with AdSense all across the board. So you don't have to consider, how can I get every single person who's on my website to be a customer, but who in your audience has the biggest problems and how can you solve those problems? You might even be able to make money through affiliate marketing on top of what you already have right now, even before creating your own product, Amar. But I think that you'd be able to serve your audience more deeply. AdSense is great, but it's almost just like step one, right? There's a lot of other ways to generate income, and affiliate marketing and selling your own products could be a way to do that. Depending on the subject matter, you might be able to create a paid newsletter. You might be able to have a membership community. There's so many different ways to do it, but I think getting involved with your audience, having conversations with them is going to be the most important thing from there. Joel says, it's done better than perfect. Finishing up a webinar and I'm getting pressure from my boss, my wife, that I'm letting some of the small flaws take too much time. Done is way better than perfect. There is no such thing as perfect. I think what it is essentially you're making excuses perhaps because you're fearful and you're worried about certain things dropping the ball. But the truth is, if you're so worried about those smaller things, the bigger ideas aren't necessarily going to come through the way that you want them to. You can always improve over time. And you might be wasting time because you might not know what exactly is going to hit or not hit. And it's better to just get it done and get it out there as long as it serves the minimum viable purpose, right? The MVP, the minimum viable purpose. And then you can go from there. So keep that in mind. But yeah, just get it out there, get it done. And most of all, you can probably make improvements in better ways to perfect it, not just for you, but mainly and more purposefully for your audience. Yeah, Sackling, let's not spam in here. Spam's only good around some seaweed and rice, not here in the chat. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you, Peasant Uprising, for managing the ship. Min says, do you see Clubhouse more exclusive and aimed towards individuals instead of brands or companies? It's, to me, a very person-to-person situation. Even when Elon Musk was on there, right? He's, the founder of, or the CEO of Tesla. And it didn't feel like we were talking to Tesla. It felt like we were talking to Elon Musk. And there's a lot of other people on there who represent their companies, but it's about the person-to-person relationship, and it's the bios that we have on our profiles that then connect us to the companies if we are, in fact, representing a company on there. So I do definitely see it as not exclusive for individuals. I see companies getting involved, but the people at those companies getting involved, not the company itself. And in fact, when you sign up for an account, you have to put a real name on there. You can't put or use a company name. Thank you for that question. Ryan says, what is the future with the Pokemon channel? I'm definitely seeing it as something, as a growth sort of platform where it'll allow me to connect and reach more people for sure. So I definitely see it growing much bigger. It's growing at a massively rapid pace right now. But I also see it as a game changer in the space. and a way for people to get access to things that they wouldn't normally get access to. I don't necessarily know what that means exactly or what it's going to turn into, but so far, a lot of these giveaways, we're getting a lot more back as a result of giving more away, and it's starting to have this sort of Mr. Beast sort of quality, not necessarily to the craziness of each video, but definitely the feeling of people coming on to show support, to provide value that help me make money from both YouTube and Super Chats that I can then pour back into the community, which will help those videos grow even more. And I also see it personally as just an experimental ground to see if I can build another brand in a separate space, which I've obviously been doing, and it's been working really well so far. But anything that I'm learning, I'm obviously passing on to you too. So I think for the SPI brand, it's actually a fun experiment that'll allow for some realness when it comes to the things that I'm not just teaching, but the things that I'm doing as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens overall in the end, but I can definitely see it getting over 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year at this rate, and perhaps even more. But it is making a splash in the industry, and I'm having a lot of fun with it too. And I think it's also helping others sort of want to up their productivity, or excuse me, production levels when it comes to the content that they create. And yeah, it's been really fun. It's been really fun. Question from Marin. What tips do you have for prioritizing what to do first when getting started? I'm trying to do YouTube, get a website up, manage other social accounts, build an email list, lots. We have to work on one thing at a time, and that's really important. So I think that any one of those will work, but any one of those you need to go all in on and learn about those things, put your full self into it to a point where people can then connect with you. Because the truth is, if you divide all your energy, all your time into all those things at the same time, you're not giving any of them a chance to do what it is that it could potentially do for you. So whether that's a YouTube or a website, all those things, yes, can work in conjunction with each other. And I think people see what I have and all these things working together, but it didn't happen all at the same time. I started my blog in 2008, started my YouTube channel in 2009 here, started podcasting in 2010, started speaking on stage in 2011, started writing books in 2013, started online courses in 2017, started a membership site in 2020. So as you can see, it's sort of like one leads to the next, and it's up to you to determine what the first domino is that can knock over the rest of the dominoes. And any one of them will work. It just requires you to sort of like nail down that focus and stay honed in on that, learn all you can about that, not worry about the other things that you can learn until later, almost maybe using them as a reward after you unlock some efficiencies and optimization in the thing that you're doing now. And if you're, for example, getting onto YouTube, I would go, okay, how can I get my first 1,000 subscribers? I just want like 1,000 subscribers. Let's just focus on getting to that milestone, and then we can maybe build a website while that's now growing, and that can then feed to the website. So that's kind of where I would start if YouTube is very interesting to you. Mox. Hi, Pat. I have 3 topics to cover with videos: gaming, business, music. Should I create 3 YouTube channels or only 1? Now, this is a very common question because very similar to the last question from Marin, it's all these things in one place, but you have to think about it from an audience's perspective. Unless there is something that can tie all these things together that a person doesn't even have to think about, then it would be worth your time to not necessarily do 3 different channels, but focus on the one first that you are most interested in. It doesn't mean that all these other things have to be exclusive. On my Pokemon channel, I have some business stuff that happens over there too. It does cross over, but not all the time. And same here, there's a lot of people from the Pokemon space who are coming over here too to learn too. But it may or may not help with their Pokemon collection, but it does involve me and me as the connector. But if I were to do both of them at the same time, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work because my energy would be divided across all those different spots. But secondly, it would be very confusing for a person to go, oh, what is this? Pokemon plus this? Like, these are separate things. Now, yes, I know business and music and gaming can go together, but I think that I would start with one as the focus. This is a gaming channel that also happens to talk about business and maybe a little bit of music behind it too. But if you are in the music industry, for example, to help people with their productions and their music career, then that's not going to do well if you're also talking about gaming. Because think about a video that pops up on their feed from you. Like, we want every video to matter to that subscriber, right? We want every video to matter to that subscriber. That's the approach I would take. 11 questions in. Let's go. Question from Tina. Did you learn anything from your DPM live on Saturday of where you can improve anything? It was awesome, by the way. Yeah, thank you for that, Tina. It was epic. I had such a good time. I learned a lot of technical things. I was a little bit late to start because something I clicked on wasn't actually clicked on, and so that was obviously a smaller, more technical thing that I did learn. Number 2, certain other technical things, like when I did transitions, my voice kind of went lower, and I rewatched the thing. But I also learned what people liked, and that's what I love to do. I love to go back to those things. Even though I hate watching myself, I go back and watch anyway, not because I want to see me, but I want to see how the reaction is. And very thankful that YouTube has the live chats from all the live streams still there, so I can kind of see, engage people's reactions. The other thing is just like paying attention to where I got the most comments. I didn't even know this was a thing, but after you go live on YouTube, you can actually check the data within that live and see when did you get the most comments. And there were certain moments during the stream where I saw spikes in the number of comments, and I went back to those moments, and they were moments when, you know, of course I got big polls, but moments when I made big announcements and moments when I actually asked people to engage. And I think I'm going to be doing that more this Saturday when I go live again at noon Pacific. And I did learn a lot. The other thing was the music was cool, and when people saw me having fun, and I got this from in comments that I got, and even private messages, people had a lot of fun watching me have fun. They could tell I was into it and I was passionate about it. And whenever I got into a groove, like, people felt like they were into it too. So that was, again, a lot of fun, and I'm very excited to see where the channel goes and how it grows. And we had over 1,000 people watching live concurrently right at the beginning, and that was just incredible. That was just insane. I couldn't even believe that. Connie, oh no. Grandma Goody got blocked. We don't want that. Let me see if I can help you out. I'm gonna see if I can unblock you on the fly here, because that's not cool. Is that the second time that's happened? That shouldn't have happened. I'm sorry. Sometimes, you know, with the chat moving so fast, sometimes there's accidental things that happen within the chat, and moderators or somebody, or I don't know what happens. YouTube maybe even makes mistakes sometimes. But I'm going to go to community here, and I'm going to make sure that Grandma Goody, we are good to go, and we can find you here. So, okay, I can't do a find, so hold on a sec. Wait, why am I blocked from my own channel? Oh, that's the other Pat Flynn. There was another Pat Flynn. I don't know if you saw this, but there were comments from a Pat Flynn who was using my exact image and was pretending to be me and answer questions, but also was saying things like, you know, go to this cryptocurrency, et cetera, et cetera. And that's just not cool. That's just not cool at all. All right, I'm wondering if I'll be able to catch this and see it, because the last time I tried this, it wasn't, I think it was Andrew or somebody, we like couldn't find it right away. But let's see. Grandma Goody, where are you? I might have to come in later if I can't find you on the second pass here. Huh. Yeah, I can't find you right now, but I'll see if I can get in after, and you know, Grandma Goody, I'd love to make you a moderator too once I find that, just so that doesn't happen again. Oh, she's okay? Huh. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Oh, she's fixed? Oh, yay. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you, guys. And Grandma Goody, when you come back, I'd love to... Oh, it was just a timeout. Okay. That was just probably accidental. Okay, cool. Let's keep going here. Dr. Joella says... is like to create a room in Clubhouse about proper ergonomics to save your shoulders ideas a title to make it more interesting. I don't know exactly what the question is, but perhaps it's related to the title of Clubhouse related to this. So I think that interesting title with relation to, you know, if your goal is to save people's shoulders while sitting down and working all day, I wouldn't just have that be the title, how to save your shoulders or whatever, you know, you're talking about. I would have it be, you know, top ergonomic tips for overworked employees or something like that. Or top ergonomic tips everybody should know, right? Like, have it be a little bit more general so that everybody can see it, and then you can go in there and start talking about that, and that could open up more discussions about other things, especially as more and more people come up on stage. That's sort of what I would do. Let's see. Rob says, what threat do you think Facebook and Twitter will have on Clubhouse as they are now coming out with their own versions? Yeah, I mean, they're always a threat, right? But I think that Clubhouse is going to be something that, you know, because I've heard from the founders, they are doing a very good job so far of keeping it different, keeping it, you know, out of what happened to Facebook and Twitter in terms of, monetizing it in that sort of fashion. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I think I'm in agreement with many people here, and you can let me know in the chat if you agree, that a lot of us are just tired of Facebook. We don't need another thing on Facebook. We want to get out of Facebook and have a place that we can go to that's safe, where we can discuss with people. I can imagine a Clubhouse type thing on Facebook just being very toxic, right? Like, ugh, it's just like it makes me itchy thinking about that, right? So I don't know what's going to happen, but we shall see. All right. Will you invite your kids to become entrepreneurs instead of getting traditional 9-to-5 jobs? We are giving our kids the most opportunities possible. That's our goal. It's not us to tell them they should be entrepreneurs. It's not us to tell them they should be working a 9-to-5 job. It's not us to tell them they need to go to college. We want them to have all the options in front of them so that as they begin to learn about themselves and know who they are and what their superpowers are and what their goals are in life, that they can make the best decisions moving forward to support the kind of life that they want to live and to be the best citizens that they can be. So we are preparing them to understand what entrepreneurship is like. Obviously, they have my example and they're involved in the business in many cases and kind of get an understanding of what it actually means to be an entrepreneur. Even when my son was like 4 years old on the podcast, he knew that being an entrepreneur meant solving people's problems. That's what any good business does. And prepping him for that is great because now he has that option and ability to just understand how that works should he want to go down that route. But maybe he'll want to be a coder and work for a giant gaming company because he's into that as well. So again, it's not our job to tell him what to do. We want them to make those decisions, but we want to give them as many options as possible and kind of just open up their world so that they can kind of go to the part of the world that they want to go in, if that makes sense. Thank you, Louis. Kathy says, I always ignore Adsense ads on websites, and I wonder if others do too. Is it truly worth annoyance to read? Is it truly worth the annoyance to the reads of the ads among the copy? Many people ignore them, but I also know a lot of people. I have a lot of students who literally make over $100,000 a month on ads that are on websites. A lot of times that money comes from the just the impression. Sometimes it comes from the click. But in many cases, at least for the students that I have, that additional income allows them to serve their audience even better. So that, to me, means it would be worth it because those ads actually help pay to help the audience be helped even more, if that makes sense. Do you think 60 lessons in a course is too much across 14 modules? I would try to narrow it. I would try to get it under 12. 12 modules seems to be a hot spot when it comes to courses and productivity. 12 is a nice number because that could be construed as, 4 weeks worth for 3 modules each week. Or it could be 1 module per month for a year. Like, it's just a nicer number. 14 does seem quite extensive. I would see how you might be able to shrink it down. Now, number of lessons, that doesn't matter to me at all. Because you're not going to promote it as 60 lessons, right? You're going to promote it as the transformation. It just so happens to include 60 lessons on the way because 60 lessons actually does sound like a lot. Back in the day, the more the better. Now it's actually the less the better. But I think over 12 modules, if you know that it can take this much time to go from here to here, it doesn't matter how many lessons there are. I would imagine many of them are short, for example. But yeah, I'm just, that's kind of what I think. All right, let's all congratulate Grandma Goody. She's now our brand new moderator here in the chat. Grandma Goody, thank you so much for all you do and have done for us here. And again, so sorry for the timeout earlier by accident, but it happens sometimes. But I think you deserve to be moderator here. So thank you so much. Let's see. How we doing on the music? Okay. Kind of driving. That's cool. I'm kind of in a driving mood today. So let's keep that going. We got Squeaks in the house. What's up, Squeaks? Squeaks and his friend John over at Pokemon Radar had a very cool podcast episode come out just about 10, 12 hours ago that, in fact, was about content creation in the Pokemon space. And they brought up my live stream and we're talking about it. It was super helpful to hear from the outside because, again, I tell you this all the time. It's so hard to read the label when you're inside the bottle. So I rely on external conversation about the things that I'm doing. And I know that's hard to understand as a creator, especially if you're brand new, because we're very scared of what people might think. But wouldn't you want to know if you're doing something that isn't helpful early on? Wouldn't you want to know that you are doing something that actually is crushing it early on, so that you can just do more of that, doing more of what you can do and what's great and less of what is not working? You totally should. And I'm just very grateful that there are people who are already in the middle of creating content who are willing to sort of like spend time talking about the things that I'm working on. It's something that is very scary, but something that you should definitely do. I would recommend that if you have the opportunity, this is also very scary, but if you wanted to set up a Google alert for your own brand. Now, I can't do this for my name, Pat Flynn, because there's a million Pat Flynns, including a Mick Pat Flynn in Ireland, who like is the most vulgar rapper I've ever heard. So I don't want that in my feed or in my email. But if you had a brand name or a very unique name, pop it into a Google alert that will then send you an email every time that's mentioned. And every time you get those mentions, I wouldn't like open them as soon as they come in. I would just have a folder in Google, so you know, in your Gmail, so that you can check it once a week on your time. You don't want emails or messages or notifications to ever dictate what you should be doing. You need to have control over your time as much as possible, which is why I always time block and make time to do certain things like that. But I definitely think that having an alert for your own brand is smart, because then you can kind of see how other people are talking about you. I would have a Twitter column in your tweet deck, or a Twitter search kind of already there, so that when you open up Twitter, you can kind of just go to it and maybe a bookmark or something, just so you can kind of, again, see what the chatter is about, see what people are talking about. That's so interesting. I even have feelers out there in the Pokemon space. This might sound kind of interesting, but it's part of my strategy. I have people out there who I've reached out to say, hey, anytime you hear about something that people are saying about my channel, can you just let me know real quick? Because I want to know what I can do better, or what people are saying out there. And it's not because I'm like, ooh, I want you to tell me how awesome I am. No, I need to know how people are reacting to the certain moves that I'm doing, because if I can see people are enjoying it, I want to do more of that. And if I can see people aren't enjoying it or kind of weirded out about something, I want to be first to market to share what I think I could do differently, or own up to those mistakes at least. So I think that's really important. Cool. There was a chat here from Saeed. Saeed says, Pat, what do I have to do to get traffic to my blog overnight? You have to stop trying to get traffic to your blog overnight is what you need to do. It's very similar to the overnight successes that we hear in business, right? We hear in the news many times that somebody just kind of created something and it went viral and they're now successful and millionaires. But we often don't understand the true story, because number one, the media is the media. But number two, there's always layers and layers of before that happened to lead up to that overnight success. And the same thing with overnight traffic, right? Even when we consider, there's a YouTuber, his name is Stephen Mark Ryan over at Solving the Money Problem. He is a Tesla YouTuber, and I'm very much involved in that market because I'm an investor myself. But he came out of nowhere, it seemed. He created a video called Tesla's Cybertruck Will Make Them Billions. This was at a time when Tesla was getting laughed at because Elon Musk threw a steel ball through the window of the Tesla Cybertruck, and it just didn't, it was a terrible situation. So here he comes, and yes, he came out with this video. It saw 700,000 views in about 3 days, and it seemed like it happened overnight. And in terms of the video, it kind of did happen overnight. But we have to understand that this person was really smart, Stephen Mark Ryan. He did hours, if not days, months of research into Tesla's business model, into their plan, into their mission. He understood something in a way that other people did not. He didn't just all of a sudden wake up one day and create this video. He had years of experience in investing, years of experience, or months of experience doing heavy research in the world of Tesla, to a point where it just made sense for him to make this video and just tell people exactly what was going to happen, which was very different than what other people were talking about in the world of Tesla. So this is hopefully giving you some understanding that you need to put in the work to know what to then create content about that can have an overnight success, should it hit the mark. Now, not all content's going to hit the mark. Not all of Stephen's videos hit the mark. Many of them do. But overnight success comes from hours and hours of grinding and work, to a point where you can then understand exactly that what it is you're creating is what the audience wants. Case in point, the Pokemon channel. Again, this keeps coming up because it's what's on my mind right now, but I love passing forward this information to you because it is something that I think is working obviously in real time, and I can hopefully inspire you through my own actions, not just the words that I'm saying. And so with the Pokemon channel, and the guys mentioned this on this podcast, and I was thankful they mentioned it because it was purposefully done, and it was done with authenticity. The idea that I wanted to build relationships first and try to help more people in the Pokemon space before even coming up with my own stuff. Very similar to Tim Ferriss in the 4-Hour Workweek, how he launched his book, which became a New York Times bestseller in 2007. He didn't go out and say, hey guys, check out my book. It has this really cool stuff. He got so involved in other communities and other creators to try and help them as much as possible that they turned around and said, hey Tim, what can we do to help you? And he coordinated that in a way where everybody started mentioning and talking about this book as soon as it came out. It did very well. So I hope that this gives you inspiration, Syed, to go out there, put yourself out there and see what you might be able to do to help others. That's when you get the return. Nobody's ever gotten poor by helping other people get what they want. Let me say this one more time. Nobody's ever gotten poor by helping other people get what they want. Cool? Cool. All right. CV says, tips for connecting with my audience on Instagram. It's been primarily my art gallery, but I would like to insert more of myself on there. Yeah, I would say start to put your face on there every once in a while. People want to connect with other people, and people's faces are what people gravitate toward, right? Number 2, I would, if at all possible, share any vulnerable stories that you'd like to share. Maybe hard days that you had, or things like that. And that way you can kind of just open up a little bit, because when you open up first, other people open up back, right? This always happens. When you open up first, other people will open up back. And when it comes to Instagram, it's just hard to connect with people because it's this weird sort of, message-based, photo-based system. But when you show the emotion and the personality there, then people can respond to that. That's something people can hold on to. That's not just a message or a video like they see everywhere else. It's actual people and the emotions behind it. Number 3, I would direct message people who comment on your posts. It blows them away, number 1. Number 2, it helps them realize there's a real person on the other end. Number 3, you get to learn a lot by having real conversations with people too. So if you come out with a piece and you share a little bit about it, maybe even ask a question to actually try to feed them a little bit to try to answer, like, hey, which part of this painting or which part of this gallery do you like best? Or what stands out to you here? And anybody who answers, reach back out to them in a direct message. I talk about this in my book, Superfans. It's a quick, easy way with tools that we already have access to make an impression, to blow people away, to help them realize that you actually are there on the other end of the internet. And when you can do that, it'll help them to keep coming back. Cool. Bernard says, what affiliate alternatives to Amazon can you recommend? Amazon expects a certain amount of sales. So there's a number of different places to become an affiliate for. Everywhere from Target, Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's. I would just start, Bernard, with where or what products are you wanting to promote to help your audience based on their needs, wants, desires, pains, etc. And then you can reverse engineer, okay, which places have these things? And yes, Amazon obviously has almost everything. But from there, you can reverse engineer, okay, who else has this and do they have an affiliate program? A lot of these companies, Target, yeah, they have an affiliate program, but we don't consider that often. Bill, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Free Spirit says, I can't believe you've been here for almost a year with daily lives. Thank you so much for your dedication. I've learned so much from you. Blessings. Thank you. Yeah, 337 days. It's kind of insane that we've gone for so long, but it almost feels like it just started yesterday, truly. But I'm just very grateful because I wouldn't keep coming if you guys didn't keep showing up. Again, this is this passing this ball back and forth between each other so that we can all score some touchdowns together. That's what it's about. Cool. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to scroll back to the bottom because I'm missing, I want to catch up a little bit, so I apologize. You're more than welcome to ask questions again, just don't spam, please. So Reflexio says, should your ideal client be aware and seeking a solution for the problem you solve before they find you? Not necessarily. I think what needs to happen is these people have to have that much of a desire to get out of that pain or have that much of a desire to find something that's more convenient. That's the most important thing. Not necessarily knowing what it is that's going to solve their problem, but they have the pain and the inconvenience that then, perhaps they might not even know there is a solution out there, right? So it's really about the problem and the pain, the struggle, the challenge that they're having. That's something they need to know they have. It's very much difficult to help somebody who doesn't feel like that things aren't needing to be solved, right? But when a person knows they need to solve a problem, then it's so much easier to help and work with them to see if there is a solution to their problem too from there. Let's see. Miss Boy says, question, I saw your other channel. You replied to a troll. How do you, one, deal with oncoming vulgar comments on a YouTube channel? I just ignore them. Yeah, I mean, I just ignore them too mostly, but sometimes there are trolls out there, and if that's the case, I have to always empathize. Typically, hurt people hurt people. Let me say this again. Hurt people hurt people. And when you put yourself out there, you become a target. You become somebody who somebody could easily sort of kind of dispel all of their shenanigans to, right? Because you're there. And unfortunately, that just is part of the game. But you have to realize that a lot of times people are going to share their shenanigans with you if there's something going on in their life. So typically when there's a troll coming my way now, I can't help but feel bad for them, right? I almost feel bad. I almost like want to help them, like a hurt puppy. I just want to be like, what, are you okay? Like, what, did your previous owner just like hurt you? Let me help take care of you. But obviously if I can tell, and sometimes it's a gut feeling, I can tell they're just kind of in this because they're just trying to stir up something, then I just block them and I ignore them, which is the last thing they want, right? So I think it really depends on the situation, but you learn to grow a thick skin. You learn to grow a thick skin. And again, typically, and you hear this sometimes, I didn't believe it at first, but having trolls is a sign that you're doing something right? It means you have a line in the ground and people are coming to you on your side, but that means there's also another side as well. Louis says, does the state of the world worry you? And do you think it has stalled or increased entrepreneurial opportunities? Well, I can say firsthand that there are more opportunities now than ever to create something new, to create something helpful, to create something needed, to help people in some way, shape, or form. There's always going to be opportunities like that, but now more than ever, I think people are, number one, slowing down to a point where they're seeing what actually matters, and there's also new things coming out all the time that we could build solutions for. The state of the world does not worry me. It's disappointing. It's something that, I wish we could all get out of because, selfishly, I want to travel. I want to see friends again. And I know many other people do too. But at the same time, when I got laid off in 2008, that was a huge eye opener for me. It gave me the reason to go and find entrepreneurship and find that solution for me. And I know many people are taking that opportunity right now to do the same thing. And it's going to be a shame if people sort of look back 5 years from now and go, man, I totally had an opportunity when COVID happened to create something new, but I was just so worried about everything that was happening that I just was too scared. I would be more scared thinking about the future and laying on my deathbed going, wow, I wish I would have done this differently. That's my worst nightmare. I would much rather live a life full of oh wells than a life full of what ifs. What's up, Brad? Good to see you here. Chris, Grandma Goody, Siddharth, thank you for being here. Francis, Peasant Uprising, Bill, welcome in. Okay, let's go here. All right, a couple questions. CV, I really respect you, Pat, and you helped shape how I should treat people. I remember how you dealt with the person that broke into your studio and you reached out to help them. Bless you, Pat. So obviously, yeah, thank you. I don't want to talk about that. It still brings back bad memories, but for sure. Travis says, hey, Pat, love your Pokemon stream. Watched it all. I'm trying to start a consulting business. Do I need to focus on just one service? I think you need to focus on one person or one niche, if that makes sense. One person, like a author, might have several services that actually stack up on each other. So I would never start with, and this isn't just for you, Travis, it's for everybody. I have a lot of people who come to me and go, Pat, So should I start an online course, or should I start a book? Should I write a book, or should I do coaching? And I'm like, I have no idea, because you don't even know who it is that you're offering a service to. And so once you know who it is that you're offering a solution for, then you can understand what you can create for them. And so it might be as simple as creating an online course, but you might have, Travis, an online course, but then you have a higher level where you actually do some one-to-one or one-to-many coaching, or maybe then on top of that, you have the one-to-one sort of white glove service too. So you won't know what to offer until you know who it is you're offering whatever to. So authors, for example, they might need help, outlining their book, and actually they might need ghostwriting services. They might need marketing services for their book. They might need the ability to create a good cover for their book. They might need somebody to help them create the title and the tagline that makes sense after doing a lot of research on Amazon. They might need services determining whether or not they should go traditional or self-publish. They might need services, creating the audiobook. That's like 10 different things for the niche group of people, right? And you can either specialize on one of those things. Hey, I am Pat Flynn. I help authors get their books found on Audible, because Audible will help you make more money than your paperback book. All my books have made more money on the Audible book, by the way. But yeah, just a thought for you, Travis. So I would start there and then reverse engineer what services you could offer, and then try to get just one customer. One customer who then you can use as sort of a guinea pig, if you will, to understand how you can help them and in which ways you can help them too. Can we get a few more thumbs up for Pat? Thank you, GTO. Dude, GTO, I loved your comment the other day on Twitter. GTO was actually in my live stream on Saturday, and it was really fun to read your perspective about that live stream, because it was, you've been a part of this live stream for, 300 plus days. And that live stream is very different than this one. This one, it's very much more intimate, versus that live stream was like a performance. That's how I felt going into it. That's how I felt coming out of it. It felt like a performance. I felt like I was a DJ. I felt like I was in marching band again. I felt like I was in a concert, and I was trying to make people be entertained with the music and the sound effects and all that stuff. But it was a hard time for me to kind of interact with people individually like I do here. So that's something I'm still learning about and struggling with, but it was a lot of fun for sure. So I loved your comment, how you were like, there's just a different energy here. It's different. It's not better or worse. It's just different. And I know, Peasant, you were there as well. But it's just great. Like during that hype reel, the intro, in the intro itself, it said, throw some fire in the chat. And it was just like this wall of fire. It was so incredible. Definitely gave me energy. Gaz says, I'm an officer in the UK Air Force earning $43K. I have an Amazon business turning over $300K. Would you leave the Air Force in my situation? I can't answer that for you, unfortunately, because there's so many more things than just money, right? There is friendships, experience. There's, self goals that you might have related to your service. So again, I can't answer that question for you, but I think that money should play a role in that decision for sure. And you might need to consider the consequences of both sides as well as the benefits. So the benefits, of course, if you go all in on your business, then you'd have more time and things like that. But what would be the potential consequences? And you can sort of weigh those things back and forth with each other, which is pretty cool. There's that fire from GTO. I like that. But yeah, Gaz, I can't answer that question for you. There may be people who are more closer to you who know you better to help you better understand what the answer to that question might be. Janice, what's up? Janice says, how do you become so successful after you got laid off as an architect? So a lot of understanding of what I could do to help others in ways that I could help people along the way. So when I got laid off as an architect, there were a lot of people I saw who were taking a very particular architectural exam. And this was an exam in particular that I had a lot of experience with. So I built a website to help people pass that exam. And that became successful because I started to just dive into exactly what these people needed help with. I started to get involved in a lot of forums to show up and offer value. And in return, I got some amazing customers back, which was really cool. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate that. And then from there, again, just leaning into what do people need help with? That's where I'm just going to focus, right? I mean, that's where this stream came from. In March of last year, people needed help. They wanted answers. What do I do in this situation with the lockdown? What's going to happen to my business? What's going to happen to my career? I just wanted to show up and share my own experiences from getting laid off in 2008. And this one stream turned into a week, turned into a month, now almost a year, which is pretty crazy. Interesting question here from Rob. I'm serious about this too. Is there a threat to the quality of a Pokemon card being damaged by the oils on your fingers? I would say yes, for sure. I mean, it's cardboard and oil on your fingers, which is why when we get some really good cards, we put them in a sleeve. And then we put them in like a top loader or something that even protects it even more. There's so many different things that could damage cards, from weather to humidity. I even know, doing research in the space, that there are cases for certain expensive cards that are UV protected. It's just pretty insane. So yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure that's the case. It really felt like a concert when that intro video came up, seeing the wall of fire in the chat. Yeah, dude, we're gonna do that again. We're gonna do that again. Saturday, baby. All right, Louis says, how do you handle family members who are negative and take pleasure in sabotaging your entrepreneurial goals? What if one of them is your own mother? This is not uncommon, Louis. The one thing I will say is just like, don't bring it up during dinner. Just, if you know that it's not something that's gonna, like, you know, bring positivity, let's not even worry about it. And yes, of course, you'd love to share the things that you're working on. You'd love to get this support, but in many cases we just can't get it. So let's not try to even make it happen in those situations. What we need to do is we need to counterbalance that with people, communities like this one, and other friends, family, colleagues that do support you, that will lift you up. That's so, so important. Number two, use this as a motivator, right? My dad, thankfully, was somewhat supportive, but he also said, you know what, Pat, I know that you got laid off and I know you're trying to do this entrepreneurial thing, but perhaps there's a time for you to go back and get your master's degree. And he was right. I could have done that. And that just showed me that he didn't believe that this was the right decision for me. So guess what I did? Proved him wrong. Proved him wrong. It motivated me even more because I didn't want to do what he was suggesting, right? Lovey says, how would you suggest marketing a subscription box business? Subscription boxes are difficult. You know, they're very popular. They make sense, but at the same time, there's a lot of coordination. I know some people, even in the neighborhood here where I live, who have subscription box type things, and it's a lot of work, a lot of coordination, and it's hard because you have to consider products from multiple companies coming into one spot, and you become the person who puts them together and sells them. So I think that there are different kinds of ways to promote subscription boxes depending on the type of subscription box it is. I think that niching into a space is going to be really important. You know, creating the subscription box for Pokemon fans, which would be really neat, actually. And I don't know if there is a subscription box, in fact, in the Pokemon space. A subscription box for brand new moms, right? Brand new moms who will get a box to them every month, and then as their child grows, they get new items in there that are useful for the baby at that age. That is of convenience to a new mom who probably doesn't have the time to go out and shop around or even discover and find these new things, right? Maybe it's something that's not necessarily for the baby, but something that pampers the mom during that time. So then how would I promote that? I would promote it as something that's simple and easy and convenient. I would promote it as something that certain other moms have already used. So I would experiment it with other moms that are out there and see what it might be like, and have them also express what they love about it, film some videos as they use those things to show others, oh yeah, they did it too and it works for them, great. So beyond that, I would have not just my own customers sharing their experiences to help other people come in, but I would also see what I might do to have you know, certain influencers. You know, I'd try to build relationships and help other communities that have moms with large audiences who, if I help them and share value in the right way, it just might take one little mention to go a very long way. Yeah. Let's see. Reflexio says, what happens to the stream after day 365? Well, I'll have my first day off in a while, but I'd love to keep a weekly stream going. Maybe it's on Friday, you know, end of the week, where we can answer questions. I can provide value. I can also give away some stuff too, and just stay connected with you. But I want to say also a big thank you to all of you for supporting me and having me show up every day. Why am I finishing after a year? Well, the year was the big goal, and I have a lot more pre-recorded videos that I want to share that's going to help grow the channel even more. The live stream hasn't been growing the channel. It honestly has not been growing the channel, and I'm totally fine with that because that's not the purpose of the live stream. It would have been nice if it did, but I also want to gain up to 500,000 subscribers this year And I'm going to need more time to do that. And I think that using this time in the morning to film and create those videos are going to be very, very helpful for the growth of the channel. And who knows, we might go for another streak at some point. There might be times mid-year where we go 7 days straight and we kind of have little micro sort of streaks like that along the way. I think that'd be really neat. The Artist Haven, greetings, y'all. I'm having to catch the replay. I missed the testing. I missed this, testing a new muffin recipe. Nice. That's really important, actually. So that's really cool. Hope they came out well. Angelina says, I asked 2 questions. I mean, there's been hundreds of questions here, Angelina, so I'm sorry I couldn't get to them, but I saw that one. I don't see your other questions, though. Let me see if I can find your avatar here so I can get one of them. You know, that's the hard thing for me as a creator here. Even in the other Pokemon channel, you know, I wish I could reply to everybody, but I just can't. And that's something that as a creator, as you grow, you need to just understand that sometimes it's not going to happen. So Angelina, you are making me feel bad. I'm just going to be honest with you. And I don't know if that was your goal, but by repeatedly saying that I'm not able to get your questions as somebody who's trying to be really helpful, I just got to be honest with you. It's making me feel really bad. And I do want to answer your questions, but I can't. I can't answer all the questions that come in. So sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. I remember answering certain questions that you've had once before, and I was able to provide value for you there. So, you know, if you want to work with me directly, you can join SPI Pro, right? SPI Pro will give you access to me and my team more often, and this is something that I do for free, and I'm just letting you know how I feel. So I'm trying to get to everybody. I'm a people pleaser, but as a creator, I also have to go, you know what? I know that I can't get to everybody, but you also got to realize that you can provide value to others, even if you're not answering people's questions directly. And there's been many more people here whose questions that I haven't been able to get to. So I see your questions about tracking, though. Tracking from Facebook, they know what's going on, right? It's a little scary. I don't even know exactly how they know everything that's going on, but it happens, right? So even if you don't click a link, they know what you are looking at. They can see how long you've been viewing something, even if you're not actually clicking through to something, and that gives them data. They have all the data in the world, right? Which is crazy. I think it must be in world record territory. What's your total watch time been since you started the income stream? Must be ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know, Commit, but you know, when you add up all the hours, you know, this is, you know, how many hours here? 360 or 337 hours times how many people are watching each of them. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I know there's, you know, it's world record for here for sure on the channel, but I definitely feel like there's other channels that are bigger who've gotten a lot more time for sure. Okay, we're at 29 questions, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Fit over 50. Do you like the YouTube editor? Yes, a lot. He's probably here in the room right now. Maybe he is not, but Daniel Patrick Norton is who has been helping me for sure. Squeak says, this will be the final question for today. So obviously, I'm sure you don't regret doing the 365 income stream, but do you wish you would have structured it differently to not commit to the 365 and risk stunting the growth with hindsight? That's a tough one because I'm very grateful for the stream, obviously. I'm very grateful for the relationships that have been built here, and I've learned a lot. In fact, there's a lot of data that I now have access to that people who haven't done this for so long don't have access to. Within each video, I can now tell what parts people enjoy, what parts people don't enjoy across the board, across the 365 days. I will now get to see which topics actually not just matter to the live viewers more, but actually are getting clicked on more from the replay viewers, which is giving me insight already in terms of what pre-recorded videos I should be creating. Today's video that just came out on this channel about Clubhouse was in fact inspired by a very popular live stream about Clubhouse that we had a couple months ago. So that is helpful. Would I structure it differently? That's really hard to say. Because it's almost like, you know, it's almost like going back to when I got laid off. It's like, oh, if you knew you were going to get laid off, would you, you know, if you knew that you could be an entrepreneur like you are now, would you have started entrepreneurship even before getting laid off, right? But it's hard because it took that layoff to help kind of opened up my eyes and almost pressured me to try to figure out a way to make things work. There are things that I wish I'd done differently. I think that in the beginning for 3 months, it was just like show up and be here for people versus, 4 months down the road, I started getting very topic specific. And that's when things really started to, at least get found more. But I think here's what I would do. Yeah, I got the answer. I would have built a separate channel to house the daily live streams. That would have been the answer. There it is, squeaks. So I would have housed those to be different. Within that channel, I could have a daily live stream, but I could also have all the website reviews in their own playlist. I could have all the fun and game days on their own playlist. I can have and build its own little sort of thing there that would then, because I feel like the pre-recorded videos stunt the growth of the live stream here, while the live stream also stunts the growth of the pre-recorded videos. So if I could do it again differently, I would have done it on a different channel. It's really interesting because I actually created a new channel for the live stream, but it was not the income stream. That's how I would have done it. Part of me was like, oh, well, I want to support those who are already subscribed here. But you got to remember, most people who are watching videos are people who are not subscribed. And so I would have put it on a separate channel. That's what I would have done. Cool. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for today. I appreciate you. Tomorrow we'll have definitely a topic specific thing going on here. Let me get the calendar for you so we can understand when that's going to happen. It is lunchtime here in the Flynn household. And then I have a webinar in 1 hour. If you'd like to check that out, I'm going to be talking about finding your niche. If you're just starting out, you don't have a business whatsoever, I'm there to help you and guide you in terms of how you might be able to find your niche and some specific advice for you if you're just starting out so you don't get super overwhelmed. If you want to check that out, you can go to smartpassiveincome.com/webinars. That happens in 1 hour from now. If you want to go and check it out, I look forward to seeing you there. If you already have a business, don't worry about going. Don't worry about going. You already know what to do in your business. So we're good from there. Let's see. Tomorrow we're going to start at, what's this? Tomorrow we're going to do a 12:30 p.m. Actually, no. Wait, hold on. Yeah. 12:30 p.m. 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. A little bit later than normal, but I have a Ask Me Anything happening tomorrow within SPI Pro, our premium membership community. So I look forward to serving you guys there. And yeah, thank you again so much for being here today. Keep up the great work. Stay warm, everybody. If you're in Texas, I hope that you get power back soon because I know it's cold over there as well. And I hope everything is great. So thank you, everybody. Tiffany, Kathy, Gerardo, Sean, Lufar, thank you so much. Jay, appreciate you. And I will see you later. Peace out. Team Flynn for the win. You're awesome.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream. All while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
All right, great stuff, everybody. Thank you so much. Janice, thank you for coming back. It's been a while. You're so real, so kind. Thank you for your help, Kelly. My pleasure. I'm here for you guys. And let's just keep spreading that positivity. Cheers. Take care. I'll see you later. Have a great one. Stay warm, everybody.
Bruh.